There's a wonderful book called Human, the Science Behind What Makes Us Unique. And it's very interesting that the author asserts that of all species, only humans have art. And he questions, why art? What evolutionary advantage could art possibly have? And part of his conclusion is that art allows us to explore imaginary worlds. It allows us to anticipate and explore hypothetical situations so that we can form plans to avoid dangers. And so, as I mentioned, the creation of art is new to animals, and according to the author, out of that 100,000 years we've been on the planet, art began to be manifested in the human species about 40,000 years ago. It was when cave drawings first became very prominent, and humans began to wear jewelry. And I'm going to, Brian Greene, who's a remarkable physicist, string theorist, says that art has the capacity to give us a vigorous shake to our sense of what's real, jarring us in the scientific imagination into imagining new things. And we do need to be jarred and shaken up. If you remember the myth of Sisyphus, and I have to apologize that my animations aren't quite as up to yours. Remember the myth of Sisyphus, who was condemned to roll a rock up a mountain for eternity because the feeling was that there was no punishment more severe than being given a menial task that you had to repeat over and over again and you would never succeed at. And by and large, that is, let's go back to, sorry. There we go. And in many ways, human beings, and particularly scientists, I think we have been guilty of that. We have been like Sisyphus. We've been trying to roll the rock up the hill, and it keeps rolling back over us. And I can say that after having been an environmental scientist for a long time. So, what can we do about it? Well, this is very quickly, I want to show you. This is a series of art posters. Last week in Washington, D.C., I was there. These are the results of students from kindergarten through college who had the assignment of trying to come up with posters that would illustrate some aspect of the ocean and make emotional connections to it. And these were the 20 winners. There's our president, George W. Bush. I have to tell you that no matter what you think of the man, when he jumped off the stage, and he did jump off the stage, to surround himself with these artists and shake their hands, it was a very moving thing, and it will never change them. All right, elastic collisions. Elastic collisions. Here's an artist. Here's a scientist. And the problem is, as I mentioned, most of our collisions between artists and scientists are elastic collisions. Elastic collisions are the best example are atomic particles, atoms, when they bump into each other. Kinetic energy is conserved, momentum is conserved, and very little has changed. They go off in different directions. Nothing much has been changed. The feeling is that if we could create inelastic collisions, that is, when they collide, something happens. Kinetic energy is not conserved. Some of it is transformed into vibration, into heat, and occasionally even into resonance when you make something important happen. So here's our same artist running with great determination, a scientist running in the opposite direction. They collide, they go off, and now they are changed, and something important can happen. And so now if we go back to our friend Sisyphus and that trying to push the rock up the hill, just maybe if you were to collaborate with some scientists on some of these big issues that are so important to all of us, we might make it and get that rock up the hill. Now, you have to have places, public places, for the public to explore these alternative futures. It can't just be in the Scientific American or Science or Nature. And one of the things we're doing at the aquarium is to create a place like this. And this is, I will show it to you very quickly, but this is a place 2.5 stories tall, 50 to 70 feet in diameter. Every surface is a projection surface, and you can go into this space and explore alternative pathways to the future. And then conceptually, you are on a balcony, and you look back in time to what happened in 2010, 2012, and ask what decisions were made then that put us on this trajectory. And the hope is that you can change where we will end up. Here is someone that you all know, and there is a problem. The vast majority of the worldwide scientific community recognizes that we have a very major problem. And you can look to the polar bears. And these wonderful animals, it's the first mammal that has been put on the endangered list because of climate change. And it's kind of a pathetic story. And if you're looking for irrefutable evidence, here it is. Even Rush Limbaugh can't deny that. So can we create a new planet right here on Earth? I think that we can, but it's going to require different kinds of partnerships than we have ever had, and I think all of you represent a community that we must work with. We're going to very clearly have to live simpler lives, but at the same time that billions of people are going to live simpler lives, and the United States has to take the lead, we're going to have to lead much bolder, more creative lives of the mind, because just turning the light bulb off or turning the water off when you brush your teeth, those are good things to do, but they're not enough. We'd love to work with you. Thank you.